Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Stitch and Thread. My name is Anna and today I have a knitting podcast episode for you. This is knitting podcast number 14 and today is quite an exciting day for me. I'm planning not only to show you a bunch of new projects which I don't think were featured. I think my last podcast was a while ago, so I was busy crafting in this time. But apart from knitted projects, I'd like to share with you a couple of my embroidery projects. They were underway for a while, but with the change of seasons, I was really craving some embroidery. So hopefully you like that part of my crafting journey as well. I have one finished knitted project today. I believe in my last podcast I showed you just my swatch, but right now it is a completed hat. This is Ole Hat by Susanne Müller. This hat is worked from the bottom up in the round. Only the cast on, which is Italian cast on here, is worked using DPNs, and also when you have decreases, you better off using DPNs to finish off the projects, and that's what I did. The cool thing about this hat is that because it has Italian cast on, if you ever done Italian cast on, you probably know that doing it using circular needle is quite a pain. So I went on a mission and purchased a special 3mm needles, like a straight long ones from a charity shop in my town. So if you ever need to do Italian cast on, feel free. I think the charity shops are usually full of these long needles. Nobody really wants them now, but they're really useful for Italian cast on. So that's what I did. I knitted size 2 for myself. I was kind of in between sizes, so I decided to knit a smaller size, thinking that I have Superwash yarn, and this is Zakami DK weight yarn. All information will be in the description anyway. As you can see, this hat should be done in half fisherman's rib, but this is different from this. And what happened is that I obviously somehow, I don't know how, I twisted my stitches, and I didn't realize, because once you knit it, this is the side we shown originally, so I was thinking it looks all nice. This is the other side, and only when I started knitting the second part, I just realized that my stitches are twisted. But to be honest, I really like the look of twisted stitches, so I thought about it and decided not to start over. I thought that was okay. And to be honest, I quite enjoyed the look of the other side of half fisherman's rib, like the wrong side, I guess. And for a while, this hat was also lying around because I didn't know if I would like to weave in my ends on that side or on this side, because I quite like the look of this kind of fat stitches as well. So I was thinking for a while. See, let me show you. That's how the hat looks. I think that's quite nice, isn't it? But yeah, in the end, I decided, okay, we'll follow the designer's advice, and decide that this is gonna be my the side that I'm using. What should I say? I did have one trouble with the decrease, but it was purely my fault. There was one stitch where you have to slip knitwise, but I just didn't read knitwise correctly, so the decrease looked pretty ugly, and I only recognized it by the second decrease, and then I tried to insert a lifeline to unravel, and it was a disaster. But in the end, I was able to pick up stitches pretty well, and yeah, it was a good experience in any case. I personally think that this hat might be too small for me. Even though Superwash yarn is supposed to grow, I think it might be too tight, and hats are quite difficult for me. I can knit like 5 hats and none of them would be good for me, so I didn't go with lots of hope into this project, but I love the yarn and I love the color. So that's my hat. Let me show you. So you can see it's quite tight on me, which is fine. I like tight hat, but I think it might be a bit too tight. So at the moment, I decided to leave it as it is. I'll see in autumn when I can wear the hat, whether I care or whether I should use extra yarn and need next size up, because this hat weighs 75 grams. I had a 100-gram skein, so I still have a decent amount left, so I can easily do that. So that's my hat. I'm still quite happy. I'm still really, really excited about this color. But yes, still not sure about the fit. What do you guys think? Would it be better, bigger, or being superwash yarn? It might stretch and I might not be happy with it. One way to find out. We'll see in autumn. The next project is the one I'm really, really excited about, and it is a camisole number 9 by my favorite things, knitwear. So the construction for this top, you start with the back shoulder, one shoulder, another shoulder, then you join them, knit the whole panel until you need to join in the round. Then you do the same for the front as well. So the front strap, one and then second, and then again you need the whole panel and you join in the round. One thing I noticed, the mistake I supposedly did, is that I didn't join in my straps. I didn't actually realize it was a mistake. I was watching another podcaster and she also did the same mistake. Somehow kind of just started the strap separately, but it did say in the instructions that you kind of cast on using the stitches from the back panel. But that's okay, because I've tried it on a couple of times and I'm still not sure if I would like to remove a few rows from the front straps. So I will think about it, because I feel the gap is a bit too long for me. So as you can see, I have now completed the whole top, and the most interesting parts are to be done, and that's why I think I'm slightly procrastinating on it. So I'm knitting this top on 3mm needles. Well, I should say I have already knitted, because what is left is the just tiny details here. So as you can see, I finished this lovely hem at the bottom. It looks a bit kind of scrunched a bit, because obviously it hasn't been blocked, and I still have extra kind of lace weight yarn attached here. And actually I even attached my stitch marker, the original one, but once I remove the yarn and in the contrasting color, it will go out. So the hem was okay. I managed to do it, I think, second attempt. First attempt, I still kind of wasn't sure exactly where to pick up stitches, and it kind of got a bit skewed. But generally, it wasn't too bad. It took some time. Probably took me like 3 hours to do the whole thing, but it was okay. However, now I'm slightly procrastinating here, because for the neckline I need to use 2mm needles, and while I don't really own them, I think I have DPNs, and I have 225mm in Chagu shorties. I'm kind of pondering what I should do. I have 2.5mm, which I used for the hem, even though the whole body was knitted in 3mm. So it is a possibility, but I think because I have to make quite a few decisions with the straps and with the needles, I'm slightly procrastinating. I need just to find time when I can dedicate a lot of time to this project. And yeah, and I don't think I've mentioned, so I'm making size 1, and even size 1 for this garment was a bit too big for me, in a sense that it requires, I believe, like about 15 centimeters of negative ease, and even the smaller size wouldn't give it to me. But originally I thought that that's okay, because I was hitting gauge with my yarn. I thought maybe a little bit less positive ease is okay. But once I joined in the round and knitted a few rounds, I tried it on and I had a lot of positive ease actually. I felt it wasn't at all what I expect from the top. So I removed 8 stitches from each side underarm. Just to give you an idea, my bust circumference is 78 centimeters. So even with the smaller size, it just obviously wasn't enough. So -8 stitches on both sides. And I think the hardest part of this project for me, oddly enough, to now to be this pickup for the underarms, because the designer asks you to use a knitted cast on. I don't know, maybe it's very normal to use it because there was no video tutorial, no explanation what it is. And I was actually struggling to find any information um, from other like video tutorials, because I think it's often been used like in the beginning of the round, but I have um, this situation in the middle of the round. So in the end, I found the video, so I will link it in the description below in case you are also as lost as I am, or maybe you also haven't done a knitted cast on before. But that's something that kind of tripped me over a bit. But apart from that, I'm really happy, and I still don't think I talked about the yarn. The yarn, let me just see if I don't think maybe here. So this is beautiful, beautiful green emerald color, and I'm not sure that my camera is doing it justice. I think it just makes it a bit bluish, but it's just, trust me, this is deep emerald green color, and it's gorgeous. So I am knitting it in West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace, and the color is emerald. And this is a lace weight yarn, so you have 800 meters in 100 gram hank, and I'm holding it double. So my top is probably slightly more dense than the original one. I believe my favorite things knitwear was suggesting to use either cotton merino or merino with I think 250 meters in 50 grams. So I would have like 200 meters in 50 grams here. But as I say, I was able to heat gauge quite well, and I'm quite happy with the fabric. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on. If you've been here a while, you probably know that I'm a big admirer of Anne Ventzel's patterns, of her design work, of her aesthetic. So it's no surprise that I would like to knit her patterns. So short tee is this kind of feminine top which you need from the top down. First you need the ribbing as well as like shoulder increases in the round, and then you need front and back panels separately, and then again you join in the round, and you need already is as one piece. I've heard different things about this pattern. Some people say it's complicated. To be honest, so far I didn't find it complicated, apart from the fact when you do the shoulder increases. This is quite, it looks gorgeous, but this is the only part which I found a bit challenging. So overall, I probably wouldn't recommend it for a complete beginner, not for your first ever pattern. But if you've had a couple of garments behind you, I think you can do it. She also doesn't specify which cast on to use. Usually she does specify, say, if you want Italian cast on. So I looked at her pattern and it looked like a normal cast on, and I thought that it might be the case because it seemed to be a boat neck and a reasonably wide one. So I thought that long tail cast on could work quite well, and this is what I used. You probably can see that this front area is shorter than the back, and this is exactly how this top is done, to create a kind of special fabric, because you do not have any short rows here at all, but in order for this garment to sit better, this is how Anne Ventzel decided to go. And so far when I tried it on, I actually quite liked. I think it sits reasonably well. The only modification I did, I added 4 rows extra at the front and at the back, purely because I didn't really hit row gauge at all. So I thought it would be beneficial before I joined in the round, because quite a few people complained that the armhole depth is not wide enough, and some people had issues with the sleeves being quite narrow. To be honest, if you can see here, it doesn't look narrow to me. I tried it on. I think it's going to be absolutely fine, even possibly without my 4, or I guess 8 extra rows altogether. But I decided with my row gauge situation to be on the safe side. So Honestly, I love the color. Really wanted to work again with the yarn as well. So haven't talked about the yarn. I'm knitting this top in Trio 2 in color linen, and I'm holding that yarn together with alpaca 1. So as you can see, the colors are slightly different. Alpaca is kind of more creamy color. So absolutely gorgeous fabric. Trio 2 is a proper summer yarn, and I used it for my project last year separately. It might not be the best yarn, especially for beginners again, so maybe it's not for beginner because it is very slippery. I'm personally a big fan of metal needles, and I use metal needles all the time for my project. This project, however, even when I was knitting my swatch, I realized not a chance. It just slips so easily. I do own some wooden needles. I think it's C-knit wooden needles, and I kind of quickly realized that for this specific garment I would need to use metal ones, and it was the right choice. So if you ever you need to use Trio 2, please consider using wooden needles. Literally very slippery yarn. So yeah, that's it. I mean, as you can see, I'm in the middle of the project, and surprisingly quick project, to be honest. I just, as I said, it just flies off my needles. I'm really happy. I think I cut it on maybe 1 week, maybe kind of 2 weeks ago, and not even working on it very regularly, and it's already at this stage. I'm really enjoying this. And also, I think I forgot to mention a very interesting detail. So I swatched for this top using 3mm needles as suggested by the designer, but again, as usual, I don't normally hit Anne Ventzel's gauge. I was quite a bit down, but equally the smaller size again was a bit too big for my liking. It would give me about 15 centimeters of positive ease for summer top. I wasn't sure if that's what I want. So I decided not to go up to 3.5mm, but use 3.25mm needles to kind of find this middle ground. And so far, you can see, I think it would just be perfect. I mean, we'll see when it's done, probably in my next podcast, but I just wanted to mention that it kind of helped with my situation, because most of my projects now are using 3mm needles, and I don't have that many. So it's very useful that I could utilize my wooden needles. Okay, and the last top, again using 3mm needles, is Palma top by Pernille Larsen. This is the face or designer behind Knitting for Olive yarn. So the Palma top is worked from the bottom up, so a different construction, but when I looked at the Palma top, I quite liked the idea. It has like airline shape, so you do some decreases from the bottom up, and I thought it's quite interesting. I want to try, and I had 2 balls left over of my pure silk by Knitting for Olive in this color P shoots. I like this yarn. It's very good yarn for summer. The thing is, this is barrette silk, so it's not that shiny silk that we sometimes might think of silk, especially me, as I do embroidery in silk. So this is not the silk which I'm used to, and still, it's quite a bit dry to work with, but I find it okay. I find it okay to work with silk. In terms of it being slippery, I would say it's a middle ground. So I'm still, as you can see, can work on my metal needles. I had a bit of issue with the gauge. It's very surprising for me, but I didn't hit the gauge. I was kind of, I think I was 26 stitches, and the pattern was calling for 30 stitches, so quite a bit. But then I looked up the pattern, the amount of positive ease, and but the smaller size was supposed to fit someone even smaller than me. So I decided to buy the bullet and just cast on. I wasn't sure if I want to use smaller needles at all for this top. So again, as all my tops, this is a size 1 I'm knitting, and as I say, because you do have this kind of A-line shape, hopefully if I feel that I have too much positive ease, I can maybe do a couple of more decreases here. So we'll see. So far I tried to put it on a cord to see the width, and so far I was quite happy. It didn't look too ginormous for me, but I'm always a bit hesitant with bottom-up construction, and I think the only reason I decided to go for it is because I had these leftover balls, and I believe I wanted to do a different top using this leftover yarn, but in the end I think it was another pattern by Susanne Müller, sessile top, yeah. But I looked up on Ravelry, and quite a few people had issues with the V-neck opening, and I already had some issues with that before. So I decided I don't really want to need that top. Hence, this is my alternative. Not much to say. It has a lovely pattern. It's purely knit and purl stitches, so quite easy. However, in comparison to my other tops, this seemed to be taking some time, maybe because there are quite a few like purl stitches and you alternate them all the time. But this top is not that easily going, shall we say. But we will see. Maybe it will get better once I finish my other tops. As I mentioned in the beginning, recently I have a strong pull to do some embroidery. I think this kind of warm days, it makes me really, really want to crave some embroidery. And I had a project from last year actually, and every now and again I would pick it up, but it was just so slowly going, because if I wouldn't do the knitting, I think I could do it within a couple of months. But knitting kind of took over, so it was, I think, for almost a year with me. But just last night, I think my fingers are full of holes, I have completed it, and look at that. So this is design called Buttercups by, who's the name? By Raymond Honeyman, and this is designed by Erman Tapestry. You can apparently still buy this kit, is still there. However, in my case, I decided to make life hard for myself. There was another design it was after by Erman Tapestry, but they didn't have it, and I emailed them. They said they won't have it in stock. And spoiler alert, they actually had it back in stock maybe a year later. So it was really annoying because I was really, really after it. So I created an alert, I think, on eBay, just in case I'll see that design, maybe someone no longer needs it. And I came across somebody selling this, just a pattern. And I thought, okay, I can purchase it. And the person who was selling the pattern also was adding a conversion chart from Erman Tapestry, because they use their own yarn. So I thought, okay, let me try something different. So I purchased that design, but then I needed to buy all the yarns for that from Anchor, and canvas as well, right? So in the end, when I counted how much money I spent on all of that, it would be the same price if I would pay for Erman Tapestry supply me the whole kit. So I don't know, I think I was just very excited when I first time saw this pattern, and I just purchased it. And yeah, so don't be like me and purchase the whole kits from Erman Tapestry unless you're after something really unique, because yeah, they supply everything, and it's much easier, I think, than doing separately, just like what I did. So I was waiting for a while for this trim to come, and it only came yesterday. So last night I was determined to finish it off finally. It will find space in our house. And yeah, Buttercups. Okay, for next project, I will try to remove it actually from the stand, and I'll see if it actually works. Okay, I really would like to talk about this project. This is called Sensu by Japanese Embroidery Center, which is in Atlanta, and this gorgeous piece is my phase 2 to 3. Because Japanese embroidery, when you're learning it, there are 10 phases. I did the first phase, which you probably can see at the back on my wall. It is a combination of phase 2 and 3. And as you can see, I'm really excited. My second embroidery project, which I've almost done. All I have left is to do a bit of gold couching here and here. And then I need to take it to my teacher to do the finishing stuff. It's quite a complicated process, apparently. I mean, it's very difficult to show Japanese embroidery on camera. I will try to insert some videos, but just to say, I will also put a picture of the original. So originally, this piece is kind of uses quite bold, kind of darker colors, and while I absolutely love this fan, I still felt I would like it to be more smooth and less, with less bold colors. And almost at the beginning, I paid for it because I started using a bit of orange color somewhere here, and with these colors which were already here, it just didn't work. And I thought, like, oh my gosh, it's still the beginning. What am I going to do if I'm already kind of playing with colors and they're not working out? And you can see the amount of colors here. So it wasn't easy, but now it's kind of almost done. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the finished piece. And you can tell me in the comments, how do you feel? Do you prefer the original with kind of bold, darker colors, or do you prefer kind of my like softer color palette piece? In any case, again, this project took me a year. I think I started around June, July last year. But this is quite a big piece with lots of different techniques. And when you're learning Japanese embroidery, there are 46 techniques you need to learn before you finish the phase 10 and you are competent enough, I guess, either to teach or to do any advanced pieces yourself. So yes, I'm really happy and really pleased. Hopefully when I take it to my teacher, she will be pleased for me as well. But yes, I'm just so excited. I've even booked, to make sure I finish on time, I booked a framer person as well, just so I can go and frame this piece, because back in the day, this was used in Japan for kimonos or obis, but obviously now in the Western world, unless I don't know how many people would be wearing kimonos nowadays. So mostly this is actually I think obi silk. It's much kind of tougher, which is why you can use gold, because gold actually still goes through silk. As you can imagine, it's metallic thread. It kind of tears it apart, so you need to have very strong silk to withstand it. So yeah, a lot of techniques were learned here, but not mastered, I must admit. I think Japanese embroidery really teaches you to be humble, because it is a kind of a very slow process when you are trying to get better and do something again and again, and hopefully it gets better and better. I specifically remember this chrysanthemum. It's apparently notorious for being difficult to stitch, and the teacher did a specific video for me because I did it once, I did it twice, and I did it all wrong. But in any case, I'm really pleased, and I really want to share this piece. Maybe I'll share it again when I'm really proud it is framed. Okay, so now about my future plans. If you've seen my video about buying yarn at my Isager retreat, you probably know that I fell in love with Japanese cotton there. And if you haven't watched that video, highly recommend. I quite enjoyed purchasing yarn, being there. I was very excited. I will leave it in the description as well, in case you want to watch it after this video. But ever since coming back from the Tee retreat, I can't stop thinking about Japanese cotton, and specifically this color. It is a combination of Japanese cotton and Isager mohair, and I've knitted swatch was there, and honestly I can't stop thinking about it. So chances are it's gonna be my next cast on. I would like to have not too many projects on the go. I think I'm getting stressed when I have too many projects on the go. I'm one of those people. I like to have a couple, you know, something maybe in second stitch, which I can knit whenever I don't need any brain power, and something more involved. But I don't really like to spread myself out. As you can see, I also do sometimes embroidery, so I get stressed if I have too much. But this is something that probably will be on my needles very soon, and I probably will be filming my already summer knitting plans, because yeah, I'm really excited. This is probably going to be a sukmonti. I believe, by Agionese. I like the design. The only thing is I've never tried drop shoulder construction, so I don't know whether the construction would suit me. Hopefully it will, but that's one of the kind of immediate plans, because I'm literally restraining myself from casting anything on apart from things that I already have, because as you can see, they're all on 3mm needles. You know, it takes time. However, this is, I believe, a 4.5mm needle, so it would be much easier and much faster to knit. So I'm really, really tempted. Also, apart from buying all the Isager yarns over the last months, I was really, really intrigued by a huge sale of West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite range. I think, I'm not sure, I didn't really confirm with anyone, but West Yorkshire Spinners, they introduced a new yarn which seemed to be very similar to West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite range called Saltis. So when I looked online, it seems that a lot of exquisite lace and 4-ply yarns are on sale, and I've used this yarn before and it has never been on this sale. So if you want to get a bargain and have this gorgeous yarn, please do. It's chances are it won't be here soon, but it is. I mean, I personally really like colors from the lace weight yarn, so I'm planning to use it as 4-ply, so just hold it double, because you have 800 meters in 100 grams, so it's basically lace weight, but then I would have 400 meters if I use it double. But the colors in Exquisite Lace are to my liking a bit more than the 4-ply range, and this is me. I bought actually quite a few. I'm a bit embarrassed to show, but this is the color I want to show you. This is called Truffle, and this is this gorgeous, not quite black, not quite gray, with a bit of purple in it, and I think it will suit me quite a bit as well. Just really, really like this yarn, and it has 80% Falkland wool, so it's very soft, and 20% mulberry silk. So mulberry silk, unlike knitting for olive silk, is that shiny silk, which is why you probably have this shine of this yarn. Really soft, really like it. Obviously, chances are it will peel because it's so soft. Because before I only use it in pair with mohair, so I haven't had a garment which without mohair with this yarn to know, but I really like it. I bought actually a couple of different colors, and this is another thing I'm actually seriously considering putting myself on like a yarn challenge ban, not to buy any more yarn, because I feel right now I have plenty and I don't have an infinite storage capacity, and I don't really want to spend too much money. But that's a different story completely. If I ever get around to it, I might just film a video just to count myself accountable. In the meantime, just want really to share this yarn. So in Wool Warehouse, if you've ever bought drops yarn, they do have this yarn currently on sale, like 40 or 50% off. So I'm kind of thinking they probably will discontinue it, which is why you have such a big sale. This yarn has never been so cheap, and it's a very good yarn. So highly recommend. Yeah, take advantage while you can. I believe that's all I wanted to share with you today. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of embroidery. I'm full into even not spring knitting, more like summer knitting. So I'm curious, what are you working on? Are you still in like sweater mode, or do you feel also pulled towards summer knitting, maybe knitting with plant fibers? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like my content, please subscribe if you haven't done so. I also actively posting on Instagram, so if you would like some up-to-date stories or posts, please head over there. And thank you again. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.